One is anything from Walmart. I'll put some other brands on the screen. I used to be able to buy Walmart items and flip them for a decent profit. I wasn't flipping them for like 60, $70, but I would find it new at the tags at the Goodwill outlet and I could sell it for 15, 20, not often over like 25 bucks, but now I literally can't give it away. I still only pick it up if it's new with the tags. And I will say Walmart has become way more trendy than when I was a kid. Like when I was a kid, I could not stand their clothing. I go in there and I'm like, especially the nicer Walmarts, and I'm like, some of the stuff is really cute. But I can't give it away. I don't know. Let me know your experience selling Walmart brands down below. I was just watching Gloria's channel. I love her channel. I'll link it down below. And I think she sold something recently from Target. I think it was a Target brand and it was new with the tags and she sold it for like $25. And I'm like, you go, girl. I have so much of this stuff and I cannot give it away. I try to sell it in live sales. ThredUp won't even sell it anymore. I used to be able to send a lot of this stuff to ThredUp and they would sell it. I could make a couple bucks. I've been lotting it up and listing it. If you are new here, I am a huge fan, especially of like mall brands selling things in lots. So like if you get 10 Shein shirts, like 5 years ago, I would sell that as a bundle and I could make a decent profit because it was all from the Goodwill outlet. And at that time, I was paying like $1 per piece. But these days, even new with the tags, it is so hard for me to sell. I'm going to lump in here Fashion Nova. I'm going to lump in here Shein and most Target brands. I'll put photos of the brands on the screen. It is so bright in my storage unit today. I don't think you can tell, but it's very bright outside and it's very bright in here. But this storage unit has very tall ceilings. You guys can't even see, like, I'll show you in a minute. But anyway, just over here like flashing my mom tummy. Um, all of those things. I don't know. It makes me sad because I love to give things a second life and I know where things go if they don't sell at the Goodwill outlet. So I'm trying to save them. And a lot of the stuff, if it fits me, I will keep it and I will wear it. Even though I'm trying to move more towards wearing natural fabrics, I'm trying to move away from wearing polyester and stuff. I just can't give this stuff away. So if you all have good success selling these things, let me know in the comments down below. Target brands, Walmart brands, Shein, Boohoo, Misguided, Fashion Nova. Fashion Nova is one that I'm like, there's some caveats. Like that one, it doesn't sit as long for me as the other ones I just mentioned, but I'll only pick it up new at the tags. And it just doesn't, like, I used to be able to sell new with tags Fashion Nova, for example, dress, and I could easily sell that for 25, 30, sometimes $30. Now they just sit for like a year if they sell, and then I'll get like a $15 offer. And personally, I am trying to move away from selling anything less than $20. You all know, my oldies but my goldies know that I always say I am not above a $10, $15, $20 profit. Some of my reselling friends are like, if I can't sell something for $50, I don't want to sell it. And I totally understand that. But my thinking is right now where I'm at in my reselling life, if I'm already at the Goodwill outlet, because I do go there like once a week, if I see something that I know that I can sell for $30, I'm going to pick it up. Especially because I sell so many different ways. You know, I sell to ThredUp, I sell to thrift stores. So those brands, I'm just not. Fashion Nova, I'm kind of on the fence. It still moves. It's just a slow mover. I mentioned this in another video, a recent. I did a brand video on brands I'm looking for in fall and winter. And I mentioned that I was not picking up Forever 21. If you didn't know, Forever 21 actually closed down. And I will say, like, when I was a kid, their stuff was actually pretty good quality. So if you, this is going to sound crazy to some of you, but if you can find vintage Forever 21, it might be worth picking up. I would say check comps. It feels just weird to say that, like, I'm old enough now that Forever 21 has vintage pieces just out in the wild. It just makes me feel very, very elderly. But anywho, because I remember shopping there literally as a child. So some of their older pieces, especially their coats, I will pick up. And if I can date it and find out if it's like at least 10 years or older, I still have a coat from Forever 21 that I purchased. Well, I didn't purchase it. My mom purchased it for me like 18 years ago. And this coat is like a faux fur polyester coat. It's very vibrant. If I can find photos of me wearing it, or at least if I can find photos of it, I'll put it on the screen. That thing is still holding on strong. So some of their older pieces can do well, but even when I find it new with the tags, it is so hard for me to move unless it is plus size. If I find it plus size, I'll still pick it up and just see how it does. A lot of my crossroads will take it, like my buy sell trade stores, the thrift stores I sell to. So there's, caveats to all of these brands. I should have said that in the intro. By the way, subscribe if you like brand videos. I tend to do them like every couple of months, and they are usually longer videos. So subscribe if you like these types of videos. We are in my storage unit. I have been a part-time reseller for a very long time, over 10 years. And I always like to say that brands, I feel like, are like roller coasters. They go up, they go down. Sometimes they're popular. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes they just fall off a cliff and poof, you never hear about them again. And sometimes they have a renaissance and it's like they're the hottest thing on the block again. So take all of this with a grain of salt. Do not just listen to what Nikki says. Do your own research. Check your comps. Subscribe if you like these videos because I do them pretty frequently. So subscribe. There's my little disclaimer that I always forget to say in the beginning of these videos. Let me make sure my mic is on. I always think this sucker's on. Hello. And it's never on. I'm going to become very picky with the brands I pick up from Anthropologie and Urban Outfitters. If you did not know, they sell many, many different brands. I will put some of them on the screen. The one that's coming to top of mind right now is Urban Outfitters. Is it called Out From Under? I think that's it. Out From Under, Skies Are Blue, those types of brands. If you sell a lot of Urban Outfitters, you know what I'm talking about, but I'll put them on the screen. They just sit forever. They've become so saturated on Poshmark and eBay. I really am only going to pick them up if they have come out within like the last 2 or 3 years and they're new with tags. Because other than that, they're just not moving for me. Same for Anthropologie. I'll put some Anthropologie brand tags on the screen. Anthropologie, I feel like, is becoming like a revolve. I mean, they sell so many brands and they have sold so many brands throughout the years. And like when I first started reselling 10 years ago, us resellers would get so well, I started reselling a long time ago, but when I should say when I was like making reseller friends 10 years ago, we would get so excited to find anything that was sold at Anthropologie, but it's just not the case anymore. I have to be very cautious with Anthropologie brands, even their own, because they have their own line now. Even their own items, I will only pick up under certain instances, like if it's newer, if it's plus size, if it was like a more unique piece that was super popular. So I just say proceed with caution with Urban Outfitters and Anthropologie. Check your comps. And I hate to burst your bubble, especially those people that are new, because I know they get so excited to find brands from these companies, but they're not all created equal. Some of the brands that are sold at those stores sell way better than others. And then out of the blue, I will sell some Urban Outfitters plaid pants for like 20. I think I sold them for 25. I picked them up at the Goodwill outlet. What I'm saying is those two stores, I'm not picking them up full price at my thrift store. I'm just not. One, they mark them up astronomically, especially if they're new with tags. But I do consider things if they're at the Goodwill outlet, but I really have to check comps because 2026, I'm really buckling down on not picking up things that take forever to sell. I have told you all this. I'm very honest. Like, I pick up a lot of things because I believe in the ethics of what we're doing. I believe first of all, yes, I want to make money. I believe in Nikki making money. I got 2 kids and a lot of bills and student loans. Obviously, I want to make money. Let me not be phony about that. But 2, one of the reasons I've always said I will always be a reseller is I believe in what we do. I believe in saving things and getting them out of the landfill and giving them a new life and finding them a new home. So that's the sucker in me that's like picking up all these things that take years to sell. And I'm just over it. I don't want things that are going to sit in my stores for more than a year. I'm over it. I just sold like 75 items to a thrift store here that I have had listed for over 2.5 years. I don't want that anymore. We're moving away from that in 2026. So that's why I'm making this video. One, to help you all. Two, to hold myself accountable and to watch this back and be like, hey, just because you're at the Goodwill outlet and you're finding all this stuff for $2 does not mean you need to pick it up and list it. No. A lot of these brands I'm mentioning, I will pick them up and sell them, like I said, to consignment stores, to thrift stores, or if I can send them to GetUp.
There's a shadow going right down my face. The sun is already setting. It's only 4 o'clock here. I discovered these actually on Amazon. I'll link them below. This can't be good for you. It has 3 grams of sugar. It's called Bloom Pop. I'll link them down below. It's a probiotic soda or prebiotic. As soon as I start filming, the recycling guy comes. And it's caffeine free. This is Shirley Temple flavored. This legitimately tastes like a Shirley Temple. I feel like all I need is a splash of champagne or vodka in this. I'm like, how is this only 3 grams of sugar and 20 calories? I let my husband try it and he was like, that is delightful. Like I said, I was just browsing on Amazon and this popped up and I was like, I'm always looking for, I don't drink soda. I haven't had a soda in probably like 10 years. So I'm always looking for like some type of drink, some kind of like fruity, sparkling drink. So I don't know. Have any of you tried this? Let me know. I'm like, I don't know about that. I like it so much, but I'm thinking, how does this taste so good? I'm actually sitting here with a pile of things that I just listed that I'm going to show during an upcoming live sale. And this brand made me laugh. I picked this up. Let me show you the brand tag up close. I picked this up only because it was new with the tags and I got it for $2. This is currently listed in my closet. This is Sam Edelman. Retailed for $98. I got this for $2, like I said, on $2 day. I personally like Sam Edelman's shoes. Like if I'm looking for some shoes, I don't want to spend a ton of money and I know they're not going to like mess up my feet and they'll last me a couple of years. Sam Edelman, Steve Madden, Rebecca Minkoff, although Rebecca Minkoff and Tory Burch, those can get expensive. But like if you're looking for more affordable, I like Sam Edelman, but it does not have the best resale value. If you have any luck selling these brands that I'm talking about, let me know. Oh, the shadow went away. The sun is setting so quickly. Let me know. The only reason I picked this up, like I said, is because it's new with the tags and I got it for $2. I don't even know if I've ever sold a Sam Edelman clothing piece. I don't know that I have. I have sold shoes from Sam Edelman, but not a ton of clothing. I don't think I've sold any clothing. I don't know why I keep picking up Zara. I keep picking up these older Zara pieces because I just find them. So we have a ton of Zara stores here. So I find it, this is one of those brands I find every single time I go thrifting and they make cute stuff, okay? Like I would wear this dress. This goes, like over one shoulder. It's ruched. It is very tiny. I think it's an extra small or extra small. And some of Zara stuff will last you for years. Like this is a cute little mini dress that I would wear in my size medium, but then it just sits and sits and sits for me. And the only way I'm able to sell it is on ThredUp or in a live sale. So that's why I picked this up. I look for pieces like this that I can get for $2 and flip for like 15 on my live sales because I like to have things in all price points, that are trendy, that are fashionable. And Zara, I can do that. I can get it for cheap enough and flip it for a small profit. But like listing it, I really only pick it up if I find like very recent trendy pieces. Otherwise, it will literally sit for years for me. If you have a lot of luck selling Zara, let us know in the comments down below. But a lot of my reseller friends are like, I cannot move it to save my life. And it's a shame because like I said, I personally like a lot of their stuff. I feel like they're fast fashion, aren't they? Like wouldn't Zara be considered fast fashion? And you find so much of their stuff at the thrift store and it's just so hard to resell because it's just everywhere. So I just don't pick it up like I used to. Now, this is a brand I hope that I am always, forever reselling. This is St. John. It's a very expensive brand. I'm sure a lot of you know it. These are new with the tags. I actually sourced these on Whatnot. I got these, so the auction ended up being like $40. I got these from Mescalita's shop. I will leave a link to her Whatnot down below. She goes live one day a week, but it's literally like for 8 to 10 hours every Saturday. And she has great stuff. I've purchased a lot from her. I buy stuff for myself. I bought these for myself originally. They're my size, but they're a little too big. I need a size 6. I was going to wear these for work, so I actually had a credit on Whatnot. So the auction ended up at $47, but because I had a credit, I ended up paying $30. They're just too big for me. They're a size 8. So I already have these listed. I need a size 6. And they retail for $495. So if you're interested, those are listed in my closet. I know this is a video about brands that I'm not going to be selling, but I was just sitting in my office looking at stuff that I am listing, and I thought about it. Here's a Target brand that I'm not going to pick up. You know how when I was in my storage unit saying I'm not going to pick up these Target brands anymore? I just picked this up yesterday. This is new with the tags. The brand is Stars Above. Let me let my camera focus. There it is. The brand is Stars Above. It's a cute little nightie. It retailed for $19.99 and it's a size large. This is like another thing I will take to a live sale. Excuse me. If no one wants it, then I don't know, friends. That's an example of something I probably shouldn't have picked up, even though it was just $2. I don't know why I do that to myself. Another one. I'm kind of doing like big groups, but another thing I really need to stop myself from picking up in 2026 are those like really unknown, obscure boutique brands. So where I live in Los Angeles is one of the hubs in the United States for boutique brands. A lot of boutique brands have their factories. I keep calling it factories. That's not the right word. Their warehouses, their distribution offices, their sales offices are here. This is one of the main hubs, if not the biggest in the country. I know New York has a huge fashion district, especially when I say boutique brands, I always get this question. People are like, what do you mean? I mean brands that most of them are not sold at huge department stores like Nordstrom, Saks Fifth Avenue. They are smaller brands that sell direct to buyers to buy new. And you can buy multi-quantity from them. That's what I'm talking about. That's not the official definition, but you know what I mean, okay? And because there are so many here, I find it a ton thrifted. And a lot of it I find new with the tags. But because they're so obscure, unknown brands, I don't sell a lot of it very quickly. Like it can sit for years before it sells, even though it can be really good quality, new with the tags. Like I just listed one the other day. If I can remember the name, I'll put it on the screen. I've been listing so much. It's called like Special One Premium. It's a very nice flannel fleece lined coat. Like if it was for sale at Nordstrom, someone would probably pay $200 for it. But because the brand is Special One Premium that no one's heard of, it's not very well known, not yet. These brands can really blow up. It's probably going to sit for me. So I'm going to try to stay away from those. And I will say the Boutique 101 video is still coming. Remember though, I am no boutique expert. I just started selling boutique clothing in 2024, like really taking it serious. All the brands are not created equally. Some of them, the quality is absolute garbage. Like the stuff, you can wash it and it falls apart. And then some of these boutique brands are literally made the exact same way from the exact same supplier of Lululemon, of Skims, of things sold at Revolve. They are the same. It's just they don't have the brand. And so they're very good quality, some of these things. And they have a very established following. Like, for example, I really like selling Easel. I've told you all that. They have a very huge warehouse here in Los Angeles. and I buy a lot of stuff from them and I sell a lot of stuff from them. But they are also occasionally sold, like sometimes you can find them at Nordstrom Rack. So there are some boutique brands, not many, but you can find them in major department stores. Another one I'm thinking of is Elan, Elan. That's another one that has a huge following that occasionally I do actually see it in Nordstrom and Nordstrom Rack. So some boutique brands you do find at major retailers, but not a ton of them. So, and they're not all created equal. And I need to stop picking up those obscure brands that no one's heard of, because branding matters. It's just what it is, and they just sit for years if they ever sell, which makes me sad because that's why I buy them, because I'm like, I can feel it. I'm touching it, like the example, that coat. I know this coat is good quality. It's thick. It's not all polyester. Like, this is a very nice coat, but it'll probably sit for years. So I'm going to stay away from those because I want to be in the selling business, not the storage business. I always say, especially to newer resellers, if you are just buying things and they are not selling, you are not a reseller. You are a buyer. You're shopping. That's all you're doing if you're not selling. And so I don't want to get stuck in the trap of buying a bunch of stuff because I know it's good quality and I think it should sell, but it doesn't. So even after all of these years, friends, I'm still making mistakes that I shouldn't be. But you just learn and you pivot. And you watch videos like these and you realize I'm picking up things for the wrong reasons. Brands. I know I'm doing a lot of like stores or online retailers that have a ton of brands, but I first sold Stitch Fix in 2024, I think. I bought a couple of boxes from Boutique by the Box. I have a discount code with them. I will link down below. It's the same as this channel. It's just NikkiBeautyBlis, and it's always linked down below. It gets you 10% off most boxes. It doesn't work on everything. But I bought 2 of their boxes and it was so hard to move that stuff. Who remembers when all the live sellers had like pallets of Stitch Fix items? Stitch Fix sells brands that, you know, are more affordable, all up to kind of some pricier brands, but that's not what I got in my boxes. I got like the bread and butter brands, and I sold some of it, but it didn't sell for much profit. So like their bread and butter brands, I will stay away from, even if I find it new with tags. It's just so hard to move for me. Unless I can get a good deal, like at the Goodwill outlet, I'm not going to be listing it. I will sell it to, I'm not even going to send it to ThredUp because sometimes they won't even take it or they don't price it very high. I'm going to take it to consignment stores, my local women's shelter, or sell it directly to thrift stores. I won't be listing it. If I get some of their higher end brand stuff, fine. Like they did send me some Dolce Vita boots. I personally like wearing that brand and I like selling that brand. They sent me some Michael Kors, that stuff sold, but like Fortune and Ivy and oh, there was like so many like brands I've never even heard of. I don't have that much experience with Stitch Fix. Do they still do their like style boxes? Like they used to do, that's how I first heard of them, is they would like pair you with a stylist and they would send you a box of clothing based on working with the stylist. But now I think it's like a subscription site. I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below. But I know they have a lot of different brands, but that's the stuff that did sell for me. The Michael Kors, the Dolce Vita, STS Blue, that was another brand I got quite a bit of. Those jeans sold, but then a ton of it like brands I hadn't even heard of. And I was excited because a lot of it was plus size, like up to 4X. I just couldn't even give it away. So I will be staying away from that unless, like I said, I get it from the Goodwill outlet and I'm taking it to the women's shelter or something like that. Listing it myself, no. Unless something drastically changes. I always have to put these little caveats in because, like I said, things change with these brands all the time. So unless something changes, I might change my mind on that. But right now, no.